Hey guys, Mark here. In this video, I'm going to show you my 189K branded dropshipping strategy. And specifically, I want to show you what took me from this guy that was just testing product after product after product and not seeing any results, just losing money, hundreds, thousands of dollars every single month, to the guy who was able to, start and grow a store to 6 and eventually 7 figures. And what I realized was I was doing a little bit of reflecting. And what I actually want to show you guys here is, this is one of my old ad accounts from 2018. I'm going to give it a quick refresh. You can see everything is real and legit and up to date. And again, this is my old account. I don't run anything on this account anymore, but I want to show you this. Check this out. If you go to the bottom here, we can see that there are 66 campaigns. And look, every single one of these was a product test. Back when I got started in 2018, failed product after failed product after failed product, every single one. And I'll even add or I already have it here, the date created. You can see August 2018, September 2018, product after product, failure after failure. But eventually, obviously, the reason I'm making this video is I was able to finally crack it. And I was able to go from this guy who was just failing and failing over and over again to the guy that actually was able to see success. And the only question, of course, is how did I do it, right? What changed? And I was doing a little bit of reflecting, like I said, and I realized that there's this mindset that people have that seriously holds them back. And I know I said mindset, don't click off the video yet. Let me tell you exactly what I mean here. This is something that I call the lazy dropshipper mindset. Okay, the lazy dropshipper. And the reason I call it the lazy dropshipper is because I don't know why, but for whatever reason, this particular industry just brainwashes you into putting very, very little effort into every aspect of your business when you go into launching a new product. And so let me tell you exactly what I mean here, because really you see this unfold in 3 different ways, right? You see it unfold, number 1, in the product. Number 2, you see it unfold in the store itself. And then number 3, you also see the lazy dropshipper's mindset in your ads, okay? So let me tell you exactly how I was kind of doing things when I was losing a lot of money and having failed product after failed product. Now, the problem here is that number 1, I was trying to find one of those unsaturated products, a product that has like zero competition whatsoever. And since there's no competitors, that as soon as you start making sales, you're just gonna start making all this money and everything else will become easy. And it just becomes this lottery ticket that you buy every time you try to test a new product. It's just like playing the lottery. And as soon as you hit that winner, it'll make up for all the losers. Now, to an extent, that's true, but you completely misunderstand what a real winning product looks like. That's most people's problem in the dropshipping space, is they don't actually understand what a winning product looks like. Because I can now that I've been in the industry for 6+ years, I can now confidently say that I can take a product that other people are selling that's quote unquote saturated and make it a winner. The only question is, of course, how. And so let me tell you my philosophy now. So like this was my old philosophy, go over the unsaturated, zero competition products. And now it's something completely different. So what I do now is I actually look specifically for saturated products, right? And the important thing here, the important distinguishment that took me from unsuccessful to successful was that you don't just sell saturated products just because. That's not really the point, or else you are going to deal with all the competition because you're selling the same product in the same way to the same person. Of course, the competition plays an important role in that. But what I do now, and what really took me from 0 to my first 6-figure store, was selling a saturated product, but with an unsaturated angle. Now, what does that really mean? Because everybody talks about marketing angles, but nobody really talks about what that actually means. So let me tell you exactly what this means. So for context, one of the products that I was selling was a product that probably everybody watching this video has actually seen. It's a saturated product. It would not be a surprise if I showed this product to you. However, most people were selling this particular product to a very young demographic. So think of people between the ages of like 18 to like 30. That was kind of the age range that people were going to. And what I noticed is that there was this angle that nobody was selling to, where instead of selling to people 18 to 30, I was selling to people significantly older, specifically ages between like 40 and 65, right? So the product that I was using was actually a selfie stick. That was a product that I was selling. Now, when you think of a selfie stick, most people think, all right, this is gonna be like a teenager, like back in 2014, 2015, I'd use this product and take pictures with their friends. And yeah, I understand that. However, every single year, there's a specific group of people that buys that product that does not fall into this particular age range and this particular angle. So instead of selling for like oh, cool, you can take really cool photos with your friends, I was specifically selling it to older people, number 1. And number 2, I positioned it, the angle specifically was for taking it on a vacation. That was the angle that I was using. So I was selling the same saturated product, but I was selling to a different audience with a different angle. And that was the reason that I was actually able to be successful, is I took a product that everybody has seen before and I simply sold it to another group of people. Now, I launched this brand right around April, way back in like 2019. And right around April, most people are getting ready to go on vacation for the summer. And so I realized this and I decided to sell a product that everybody's seen before, just to a different market and with a different angle. And that was actually the thing that allowed me to be successful. And so now what I'm telling, my students to do is always to sell products that are validated. It doesn't have to be one of those ultra saturated products, because like anything, there's a spectrum, and the more competition, the more difficult it's going to be, and the more unique and creative you have to be with coming up with the right angle. However, there is kind of a sweet spot. I want to see multiple competitors that are selling this product and generating at least $300,000 to $500,000 per month in revenue. And so what I'm looking for is I'll actually open the similar web extension right up here. And if like this was a competitor, for example, and this number, obviously it says 30 million, but if this number said like, 400, 500,000 unique visitors per month, that's a verified and validated brand that you can now see what products that they're selling and use those to your advantage. But I wouldn't go sell it the same way as everybody else. Again, the key here is that you sell products that are validated, that are saturated, but you're simply tapping into a completely untapped angle. I don't believe in product saturation, but I do believe in angle saturation. And that is why I was actually able to make that work. But if I was just a lazy dropshipper like everybody else, which I was, for a long period of time, I would have just continued to do the same thing over and over again, which, as you know, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is literally the definition of insanity by Albert Einstein. That was his specific definition. And so that was the first thing that I just had to completely get out of my mind. I can sell saturated products. Those are not the enemy. The enemy is in the angles, right? And you want to tap into new untapped angles with a verified product. So that's the first thing. Number two is going to come down to the store. Now, again, this was like, 6+ years ago, I was running a general store. And as soon as you land on that store, not only is it not primed for conversions, which means that you're going to have a really low conversion rate, but it just doesn't look trustworthy, and it's not optimized to max out your AOV. So my average order value was very, very low. And what I did with this product, where I was finally able to find success, is I actually added an in-cart upsell. And you may think, Mark, it's only one upsell. How big of a difference could it make? Well, let me tell you, this upsell had a 50% take rate. That means 50% of the people that added the main product to cart also added the upsell. That added like an additional $20 to my average order value, which means I can spend an additional, like with margins included, $10 to $15 for every single buyer that comes through the door. So think about how much more competitive you can scale that way. When you can spend more money on ads than your customer, it goes back to one of the most legendary marketing quotes of all time, which goes like, the person who can spend the most to acquire a customer wins. That is the game that you want to play. How can you be so competitive with your store, with your average order value, with your conversion rate, that you can spend double, triple what all your other competitors can afford just to acquire a single customer? If you play this game, you are going to be you're going to be starting off on such a right foot compared to when I got into the game. I was just like so obsessed over like winning products, general store, everything is about the product. No, it's about having a very strong AOV and having a strong upsell process so that you can spend more on everybody else who's marketing to the exact same audience. And the third and final thing that has to do with the lazy dropshipper mindset comes down to the ads. And this one actually may be the worst of all. I was terrible at creating ads when I initially started. And let me actually define terrible for you. Number one, I was stealing content. I didn't make any ads myself. I was just looking at what other people doing, and I was basically just stealing it. And because of that, I ran into all types of issues. I got ad accounts shut down. I got business manager shut down. I got pages shut down. I got payment processor holds, just all sorts of issues. And what I realized when I was looking back is the winning ad that took me from like unsuccessful to successful, the very first real winning ad that I had, guess what I did? I created it from scratch, brand new. And the only reason I can say that with such confidence is because I remember I forced myself to learn how to use Premiere Pro just so that I could create my own ads from scratch. I downloaded this software off the internet, had no idea how to use it, and I spent literally 12 plus hours generating one 30-second ad. It's like, do you understand? 12 hours for one 30-second ad. But I created it from scratch. All the copy was mine. The clips were mine. Everything was completely original. And because of that, and because I was also marketing to a completely different angle, an unsaturated and untapped angle, I was able to create an amazing creative that had an extremely high CTR, and it was profitable literally on day one. If you want to know if you have a winning product, best indicator of a winning creative as well is already profitable on day one. That's like a really good indication that your ads are on a really, really great start. Now, does that mean that you're of course going to be profitable on day 2, 3, 4, 5? Not necessarily. There's more nuance than that, but day one profitable, that's a good freaking indicator. That's a really good sign that you're doing the right thing. And so am I saying this to tell you that you have to like go sign up for Premiere Pro and pay for expensive softwares and develop all your stuff from scratch? Absolutely not. But the point here is that I was lazy. And probably most people that have been in dropshipping in general for more than like a month, you're lazy too. That's just the reality of the situation. It actually takes remarkably little to succeed with dropshipping, but so many people are just lazy. They find a product with some like ads by software, they sell it using the same creative to the same audience with the same angle with almost an identical store. I mean, what do you really expect to happen when you're not differentiating yourself at all? Do you think Facebook is gonna like that? Do you think the Shopify store that you're stealing it from is gonna like that? No, you're probably gonna get DMCA'd and shut down by Facebook. And so the whole point of this video really is to help reframe your mind. The people that are winning right now in 2024 and in 2025, the people that are winning at scale, they know that if you put in just an ounce more effort than everybody else, you can succeed at a really high level. Instead of choosing some untapped product that's unproven, choose a product that is proven and simply sell it using a different angle. Instead of copying a store using some spammy general store, build a real funnel that maximizes your AOV and your conversion rate. And finally, instead of stealing ads, instead of stealing other people's content, make your own creatives from scratch. Find what's working and don't swipe it word for word. Don't take the actual clips. You want to take the philosophy behind why it's working and then apply that to the creative that you go through and actually create from scratch. And so all of this right here, like the whole lazy dropshipper thing, this is the opposite of what I recommend. What I actually teach is called like the lean ecom brand method, where you're able to find a product that's saturated, but still make it work because you have a really well put together funnel, you have amazing creatives, and you have an untapped angle, but you still have that validation that people are actually buying the product. And so this is something that I teach inside of my mentorship program that I own with Alex Fedotov. It's called Brand Builders Academy. If you want to apply for that, just click the first link in the description. Or if you have any other questions about this entire process, I'm happy to go in more depth. Just send me a DM on Instagram. It's @MarkBuildsBrands. And other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you take something away from this because this really was the thing that held me back. Everything that I make and post is based off of truth. And I was just doing some self-reflection on what took me from unsuccessful to successful. And this is what I was able to boil it down to. Like most things, it comes down to your mindset, but your mindset shapes the actions that you go through and produce. And so if you change this, you change this, and you change this, and you just put in an ounce more of effort into everything that you do around your business, I promise you, you're going to be on such a better foot moving forward, and your chances of success are significantly higher. Just put in the work and everything else will fall into place. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, send this to somebody who has that lazy dropshipper mindset, and I'll see you in the next one.